Good afternoon and welcome to the Indian Express. My name is Primankur Biswas and I'm here live from from Shimla at the Ridge. With me I have got Gautami and Siddharth. Both of them run an organization which works with self-help groups in villages. I will ask Gautami to explain more.
Hi Premankar, thank you for having us. We run a social enterprise called Buraansh, and we are trying to promote authentic handmade produce from Himachal, and all our produce is made by self-help groups and small women collectives and small farmers, and we are taking this brand to on a national level.
Okay, and Siddharth, if you could tell us about the selections as stakeholders, as people who are doing business in the state, as stakeholders, what are the issues that do you think would be at play in this elections?
Right. So let me just start with saying, first of all, the previous government has, the central government has come up with a lot of policies that have helped startups and business. But as far as Himachal is concerned, a lot more needs to be done. More concrete industrial policy needs to come out that will help businesses flourish in this rather difficult state, I would say. Also, we are really in need of trained manpower. So the government also needs to come up with something like more ITIs and more training courses so that businesses have access to trained professionals. So these are the two issues that businesses would definitely be looking out in the coming election.
Both of you are Shimla natives who have come back to the state to start your business. Coming back from a big city like Delhi, how difficult or how easy was it to set up your business here?
It has been a challenge for us, mainly because of the logistics and the raw materials, which is basically packing material and transport. And our market is also in the bigger cities, so all that is a challenge for us. Getting our local produce is easier. That's why we came back here, because we really wanted to work with all these small farmers and SHG self-help groups closely. That has been going great for us, but in terms of logistics, it's been a challenge for us.
If you could tell us, what are the specific logistical problems you have faced?
For example, if we definitely have access to processed food products and everything in here in Himachal, but things around it, packaging material, machinery and things like that, all of that, we don't have an industry in Himachal. For something as simple as corrugated boxes, I would say, which has a huge demand in Himachal, one has to go to other states to get these things. So that has been one issue. And secondly is the shipping cost we bear in sending these things outside Himachal. So these two are components add to our final costs and the competitive edge over other brands.
Gautami, you work closely with women jam makers and also crafts makers in villages across Himachal. You've spent months studying them, working with them. If you could tell us, what are what is the role of a typical Himachali woman in making important decisions, especially when it comes to elections?
I think women of Himachal have been very vocal about their issues, and they do have the agency when it comes to making such decisions, and they also have an influence over their family. They, unlike probably other states, women in Himachal are quite active. They work, they contribute a lot in the household earnings. So probably that's why they also have some voice when it comes to elections, and they will make the choice depending on the benefits they have gotten in the previous 5 years.
Okay, I'm moving ahead. I'm curious about what are the expectations from the present government, or what are the challenges that the next government that will come when it comes to your particular industry, which is the horticultural and
Well, one expectation from the current or maybe the next government definitely is to give impetus to processing industry. Till now, the focus in the food sector has been on maybe apple procurement and all that sort of things. But the focus really needs to shift on better processing facilities for the farmer. Because what farmer wants is, farmer doesn't want to immediately sell the crop. Farmer wants to get better prices, and maybe processing and better cold store facilities can help achieve that. So that is one thing the next government should definitely look at.
Okay. And also, I'm curious about the youth of Himachal. You both are the youth of Himachal. A lot of, we know that a lot of Himachali people tend to move out. You were just discussing how you're considered to be a failure if you come back to the city. But I'm sure you guys are not, and you've proven yourself. But, why is it that, unemployment is such a big issue? And how does a typical Himachali youth look at this?
Himachali youth needs more skill based, I think. Skills are still missing. We have to go out for better education. That is, it starts from there. That movement outside the state starts from education. We both also had to leave the state to get better education. And coming back is looked down upon, because either you get a government job, which is great, but if you don't have a government job, then you don't find any corporates, any industry. There's nothing here in Shimla or even any other city in Himachal Pradesh where you get a decent paid job. So what are you going to do? For us, we started our own business, so probably we have scope in that, and to we can increase our target audience and try to move our product outside Himachal. But not everyone can start a business, and there is lack of private sector jobs.
Yeah, but I was talking to a lot of people around here. So they apparently army is a big thing, right? Every Himachali youth aspires to be an army jawan in villages, mostly in rural areas. And if not, then of course, there are the options of moving out of the city. But Siddharth, what do you feel? Is this something that is of course, they take pride in being in the army, but what are the other causes that drives them towards?
Well, so as you were saying, pride is that one factor. So it's a very aspirational thing. मेरा बेटा फौज में है या मेरा बेटा सरकारी नौकरी में. It's a very aspirational thing for a household to achieve one of these. But when it comes to running their own business, people have started doing that. Youth has started. We've had very good startups coming up, and enterprises due to these schemes like Swavlamban and the Startup India scheme. But the word aspirational, it's not aspirational
So
as yet.
the mindset you're saying is still believes that a government job or the security of a government job is more important. And what about a lot of people have been saying that in the last 10 years there has been a change in mindset. People are now more experimental. Do you see it in your particular field?
Yes, we do. That is what I was also saying, that people have started their own enterprises, and they've started realizing that rather than finding a job, let's give 10 other people a job. So that has been changing, but the change needs to be on a bigger level.
And also, I'm curious about other factors that might come into play during these elections. Of course, not all of them might be connected to your particular field, but as a woman voter, what are the things that you will keep in mind while voting this year?
I think quality of education was one I was saying. There is our literacy rate is very high, that is fine. But higher education, more skilled professional courses, so much is happening around the world in the country. There are design courses people are doing, animation, and all that is missing here. We are still back to basics and doing basic social work courses. So I think education is one of one of the things I would like to say is very important for women and youth in general. And apart from that, for us, I think better implementation of these government schemes. There are so many schemes that as an entrepreneur you can look forward to.
As a woman entrepreneur.
Yeah,
you're saying.
yes, as a woman entrepreneur you can look forward to, but the implementation part is very slow and poor, that you'll have to wait for probably 2-3 years to get your due subsidies. So that is one challenge for a entrepreneur.
And when it comes to safety, when it comes to other issues for women's safety and stuff, do you think I mean, Himachal is perceived as one of the most evolved states when it comes to that, but what do you think?
Oh yeah, actually Himachal is looked at as a safe state, and it is, but only to a certain level, because here you won't see anybody after 8 o'clock because there's no office, nobody is coming back home. So if offices are if there is more corporate jobs, more different kind of environment is there, then you'll find that if you are walking alone at night, you don't feel that safe, and you'll find drunkards, and there are long patches without street lights, and nobody is even talking about it because it's considered for you to come back at home by 7 or 8 as it gets dark.
So like the perception is that you will be back by 7, so on the row, and then you will be safe.
Yes.
The other thing that I was wondering is, like, you know, as you were saying that because there are no big like, you know, offices or places where women can work, but what about like you know, like other kind of options for them, in the sense like if I were to ask you about the acceptance for the LGBTQ you know, community in this.
I think we are far behind in gender equality, or you know, understanding these concepts. That is my personal feeling. I really don't know, but even in colleges, basic things like, you know, I still feel that transgenders are not represented in colleges. LGBTQ community is not there. There are no lectures.
I think there's no representation.
Representation, yes,
I mean,
yes.
leave alone representation, there's not even that kind of dialogue.
Dialogue is missing,
around
yes.
the LGBTQ
Yeah,
movement.
yes.
It has been a very tier 1 centric movement, so to say.
So far.
And in a state like Himachal, which is mostly rural or tier 3 cities, that kind of dialogue hasn't reached here. Okay.
And as young entrepreneurs, you would also want people from outside to come and work here, right? So how open is Himachal to that?
Himachal is gradually changing. Earlier, it was very tough for anybody to come here and adjust, because you're still looked down, tagged as a migrant, and it's a very close-knit community. People, you know, find friendships in regional terms. But now people are becoming more accepting, because they realize that if you want to have a better workforce, you need to have people from across the country. So that is changing gradually, but we really need to be more accepting in this.
What do you feel?
Well, I feel the same as well, because the thing is that the state has seen migration outward, not inward migration. So the state hasn't yet come to terms with the fact that there is a trained workforce outside the state that needs to, you know, that will actually add to the advantage that Himachal has.
Now coming to the manifestos of both BJP and Congress, the major, you know, like parties for this elections at least, they have made a lot of promises. BJP has promised a uniform civil code. Do you think things like these will fly in Himachal?
No, this uniform civil code, or maybe a thing like Ram Mandir, doesn't cut across a state like Himachal Pradesh. One, because we have the majority chunk of the population is Hindu. That's one. So a uniform civil code in Himachal Pradesh doesn't really cut across. Won't cut.
Is there polarization here, like when it comes to religion?
No, there's no polarization across religion. Maybe region-based, Upper Himachal and Lower Himachal maybe, but across religion, not really. That's not a vote bank.
Okay. And also, women. Congress has promised that you know, women would get 1,500 rupees each woman will be liable to get one. So what do you feel about that?
I feel this cash, what do you
Doling
call
out
हाँ,
cash
doling
doles.
out cash dole policy doesn't really help. It is great to get that vote bank, to get that vote on that day, but otherwise it doesn't really help them. The what will help them is to get better skills, better education. If they are producing something, to helping them out in marketing those produce, substantial development of their their entire personality would help them, not just $1,500 shouldn't be that helpful. That's what I feel.
Okay. The other thing that it was a big issue for in your industry was the GST on the packing materials. Yeah. So if you could tell us more about that, like, and how is it affecting your business?
Well, it's definitely affecting our production costs. That's one. Anyways, paper and corrugation material, the costs have really gone up. And on top of that, GST, yes, earlier it was on a 12% regime, now it has been moved to 18%. So definitely it adds to our costs, and it's a killer when it comes to our competitive advantage over other brands.
So if you could tell us in terms of numbers, how the prices have been affected, or how your profits have been affected.
Well, when it comes to cost, I would say at least 5 to 7% we've witnessed an increase in our costs due to that, and the same goes for the profits. In that proportion only, it has come down. So that's
And coming back to generational clashes when it comes to voting, do you see a distinct difference in youth and the voting pattern of the?
was a state where there were families marked as from one party or another party, but that has been changing. Youth has moved out from villages, staying in the cities, have developed their own ideology, so they have somehow left that organizational line, and they vote very independently.
And of course, you guys will be voting this Saturday, and best of luck on
Thank
that.
you.
And
Thank
you do make informed decisions. And thank you for speaking with Indian Express
Thanks so
and
much.
taking your time out and speaking with us. That's all, folks. We will keep on continuing the series of live from Himachal Pradesh. This is Primankur Biswas for the Indian Express. Thank you.